Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we'll be taking a look at Tineco's S11 Pure 1 Cordless Vacuum, the smart choice. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so on today's video we'll be taking a look at the Tineco Pure 1 S11 series cordless vacuum. You can see the smart difference. Well, you can't at the moment, but you will do when we take this out of the box. So in today's video, we'll go through, do a quick unboxing, take a look, see what we actually get in here, go through some of the product specifications, etc, etc. We will quickly go over to the website so we can get the specifications. Essentially, this is a really smart vacuum. So depending whether you want to use it as a stick vacuum, a mini vacuum in the car, maybe you just want to do some spot cleaning in the house, on the stairs, wherever the case may be, this is a really, really good choice. Now, this has been sent to us free of charge for review purposes from Tineco. They did actually send us a previous version, their Vac Mop, which you can check out up here. We were really impressed with it, and when they offered to send this out for a review, absolutely over the moon. Now, I'll be completely honest with you, we are pretty much a Dyson household. We've got a Dyson upright vacuum, we've got two Dyson cordless, we've got the V7 Animal, and also we had the V6 Animal also. This is hopefully going to replace the V7, although this spec-wise actually blows it away in terms of features, battery life, runtime, all that kind of stuff, but also blows it away in terms of price. So let's take a look at the website and we'll go through some of the specs. So this is the Tineco website. If you've not seen it before, very easy to get to, so uk.tineco.com, and we're looking at the S11. So this is the Pure 1 S11, see the smart difference, and give you some demonstrations there of somebody cleaning a house, which yeah, as we've probably all seen before. So let's look at some of the key features. So we've got smart dust detection. So there is what they call the iLoop or loop technology. Basically it scans the air coming into the device and works out how much dust or debris is actually in that air and adjusts the suction accordingly depending on what the needs are. So this works in two ways. It prolongs the battery life and also it's less noisy, which is always a good thing and it's going to save you energy. So that is a fantastic feature. We've got intelligent LED display, so there is a LED display on the top, so it gives you an idea of what's actually going on. Smart battery management, so you've got ways of actually managing the battery length, as we said, so heavier tasks obviously will deplete the battery quicker, but if it's just a quick clean around, then your battery's going to last a really long time. Obviously, because of that, you've got smart noise optimization, and also there's an app which you can use. So this is a Wi-Fi device. There is a companion app which you can put on your mobile, which you'll probably see some cutaways of. So you can see other features, look at your run times, all that kind of stuff, and get firmware updates, all those kinds of things. So let's dig a little bit deeper onto the iLoop. So with the patented iLoop dust sensor, the Pure 1 S11 detects invisible dust, air, pollen, and dander, and adjusts the suction power instantly for effortless and confident cleaning. And now we've got the all-in-one LED display. So you've got the Wi-Fi detector, brush tangled, monitoring loop, which is this outside edge. So basically if there's no blockage or very clean air going through, then the surrounding area will be blue. When you get bits of red there, that's basically ramping up the power because there's more debris going through the iLoop. Next is the smart battery management. So the Pure 1 S11 can automatically trigger the proper suction power, and there is a detachable 2500 mAh lithium ion battery. There's actually two of them included, so you can have one ready to go. So if you've got a particularly heavy duty cleaning task to do, you don't have to worry like you do with the Dysons when if the battery's flat, you've had it. This one, you've got a spare battery. So you can quickly swap that battery out and carry on with your cleaning. One battery can last up to 40 minutes. So pretty much you can do the whole house in that. We normally can do the whole house in probably about 25-30 minutes. Obviously the size of your house is going to be dependent on that, but certainly for a normal cleaning cycle, one battery is more than enough. Goes down a bit further to say about the smart app integration. Again, you've probably seen some of that from the cutaways and the noise, etc. So pretty quiet, down as low as 72 dB, which isn't quiet, but yeah, it's not as aggravating as some of the cheaper models on the market. So here it says about the super strong suction in max power, so up to 130 watts of power in max power mode, which is 5 times more than ordinary DC motors. Also, you've got 4 stages of filtration. So there's a HEPA filter, there's intake filters, there's all kinds of filtration going on here. So nice and clean, nice and fresh after you've done your vacuuming. One crazy thing about this is it comes with a filter cleaning tool. So the filter which is actually inside, which is this one here, actually comes with its own cleaning attachment. So you can put the filter in there, clean the attachment, saves you the hassle of well, clean it under the tap and all those kinds of things. So yeah, that's really cool. We like that a lot. And it says about the crystal clear body. So if you're remembering back the Xbox days where you used to have the crystal controllers, which were the see-through controllers, this kind of takes some of those design elements and integrates it into a household appliance. They're showing a picture of the wall mount dock. We'll go through that later, show how it installs, and we will be putting it on the wall just to keep everything nice and tidy. So yeah, basically you can keep all of your attachments in one nice, clean, tidy place, which is great. And obviously there's other options as well. So let's get into the unboxing and see what we actually get. Okay, so we've got an absolute ton of stuff here to go through. So where should we start? Let's start with the simple things. So obviously we've got the brush, which we discussed a little bit earlier. So we've got the detangle brush. There is the actual wand attachment itself. Now this wand is really, really cool. So you've got like a sort of a slightly oval shape to this. It is all aluminium, so it's actually pretty lightweight. But I really like the fact that it is oval. A lot of the times you get these and they're actually round. Now an oval shape is inherently a lot stronger, especially when it's done in that position. So all of your kind of lateral forces are going to be on this and there. So it's going to be really, really strong. Yeah, like that a lot. So just the usual kind of push fit connections on there. And it's finished in this really, really nice metallic kind of blue. There's a hint of purple in there as well, I think as well. Difficult to tell under this light, but certainly that is the main kind of wand or stick attachment, so that's really cool. Next up, what should we look at? Let's look at the floor cleaning tool. So this is your normal floor cleaning head. It does have LEDs in the front as well, so if you're vacuuming in those slightly darker areas where you can't quite see what's going on, sunlight maybe doesn't get to it, so you've got illumination there, so you can see dust as well. That's really good. It's really nice, very fine bristles on there, so it's not going to damage or rip your carpet to pieces, which is really nice. All of this can be taken apart pretty easily as well. Just need like a coin or something in that section. That bit comes off and then you can remove the roller should you need to. Obviously, you probably won't need to remove it very often. You can just use the brush there to clean up any debris which is stuck inside. So that's all really nice. There's some rollers on there as well to aid going along on carpets, etc. Rubberized feet on the side as well to help it go along on certain surfaces. And you've got a flexible neck there, which actually moves pretty easily. Be interesting to see how this actually performs when we use it on the carpet. The head control is something which a lot of people do have issues with on some vacuums, so we'll see how easy it is to maneuver actually on carpets. Of course, it's part of the same system, so it's using that kind of spring lock connection, and when you want to connect it up, there are electrical connectors in there, so that just connects up very easily. Snaps into place, very, very reassuring. Feels like it's in there really nice and snugly. Obviously, just to remove it, just press the button in again and you can take it off. Now the head you can use on its own, directly connected to the vacuum itself, or you can use the stick attachment, again, depending on your usage requirements, etc. Maybe if you're in a car, or maybe you're trying to do the stairs or something, you can just use this on its own, connected directly to the vacuum. So yeah, that's very, very cool. We like that a lot. Next up, there's the smaller stair cleaning or kind of furniture section. So again, same sort of deal. Got that spring connection on there. Again, really soft, nice bristles on there on a roller. And you've got this plate on the bottom, which is angleable or movable, however you want to say it. So that is going to make sure that the suction remains constant regardless of which angle you're on. So yeah, really good again. All of this feels like it's made from particularly good plastic, like really strong, solid plastic. Doesn't want to creak or bend or anything, so that's a really good sign. I do find that Tineco are one of those brands that a lot of people have never heard of, but actually I find that a lot of this stuff, especially the plastics, do seem to be an extremely high quality, and certainly better quality than some of the ones that we've had from Dyson, which is, you wouldn't think that, being Dyson is kind of like the market leader, so yeah, thumbs up for that. So next up, there's some of the smaller attachments. So we've got the kind of crevice tool and also the duster as well. So got notches out the side there, so you can actually use it flush onto things and it won't change the suction. If you want to slide this down, very easy to do, just push it down. When you want to remove it, just push it back up, so that stays in place. This is really cool because obviously you don't need two separate attachments, so you don't have one for doing kind of delicates or ornaments and one for doing smaller crevices or down the side of sofas, that kind of thing. And again, obviously uses that same spring clip style design, and again, extremely good plastics, which is very important. Next up, we've got the extension crevice tool. Again, Very strong plastics, very, very little give in that, so that's a really good sign. Spring clip attachment as always. Another thing as well, all of these attachments actually have kind of O-rings built into them as well, so giving you a very good seal. And quite often you get these, they don't have those kind of O-rings in there, so you do lose a little bit of suction through the actual attachment of devices or different kind of end pieces. So yeah, that's a nice little touch. Next up is the filter cleaning tool. Now this one is, I like this is a really great idea. So essentially what you do with this is you actually put it into the end of the vacuum there, and basically it sucks the dust from the actual filter. So if I flip this open and pull out the filter, so that is your cleaning filter. There is one pre-installed in the actual vac itself as you get it, so you get two of these, so you can have one in the cleaner ready to go, and you've got one actually in the vac. So having two is awesome. I really do appreciate that. That is excellent. So let's take a look now at the actual mounting and charging area. So this is the wall mount, and it's got instructions on there to tell you how it works, etc. But very straightforward, very simple to do. So you can wall mount it. There's a screw hole there and there. When the vacuum is actually attached, this moves up and the prongs then will make contact with the vac itself. So yeah, that's all really cool. And obviously all of the components can lock actually on. So you don't have to have all of them on there. If you don't want to, you can put them somewhere separately. But they do actually include this little section here. So that slides on the side, locks into place. So that then gives you a few more extra areas to actually put your attachments, that sort of thing. So you can have everything on hand when you actually need it. So yeah, that is very, very cool. Another thing which is very cool about this, I keep saying that, I do apologise. On the top there's actually another section for charging additional batteries. So you can see the prongs on there. So there is one battery in there. I think with this model there's a couple of options available. You can actually get one with two batteries included and a few slightly different attachments. I'll put all the links for this in the video description below so you can check out for yourself. So you can save a little bit of money if you want to by getting the model that comes with just one battery. And realistically, when it lasts up to 40 minutes on a single charge, one battery probably is going to be enough. So it's great that they're giving you the option. They're not providing e-waste. So if you are a slightly more heavy duty user and maybe you need two batteries, then you can buy the two battery version, or you can buy the battery separately on its own, or you can buy just a single model with the single battery, which yeah, still got the option for charging it should you see you need to later on down the line. Next up is the actual charger, or the electrics. So this comes with a standard 13 amp plug, which is for the UK. Obviously, depending where you get yours from, then obviously the plug may change. And on the end, you've got this adapter, which goes into the bottom of the unit for charging purposes. Pretty decent long cable there. And also, if for some reason this does get broken, this does come apart. So you can actually just replace parts of it should you ever need to, which again, like with Dysons, if you ever need to, you can just get a replacement AC adapter, and pretty much the same deal with this. So it's designed with longevity in mind, so it's all very modular. You can use it for various different tasks in very, very different ways. Yeah, I really like it so far. So let's take a close look at the actual vacuum itself. So this is the actual vacuum unit itself, and as you can see, it's a pretty unusual looking vacuum. I don't think I've ever seen one quite as elaborate or possibly as stylish, although style is subjective, so some people out there may prefer just a basic silver or basic white. Yeah, down to the individual, I think, on that one. So let's look at the individual parts. So on the back, starting from the back section, there is the HEPA filter, which is built in. So press that in and you can remove the HEPA filter for cleaning, etc. Very easy to do. It does give you warnings on the back about cleaning cycles and replacements, etc. Again, all the replacements you can get from Tineco directly or off Amazon, those kinds of things. So yeah, that's all really cool. It fits in there, just pushes into place, snaps into position. Moving down, we've got the actual handle itself, which is pretty comfortable. There is a trigger to actually start the vacuum up. As you can see, it's actually pretty quiet as well. There is actually a trigger lock as well on the side, so you can actually move that down and that will lock it into place. So some people prefer trigger locks, some people don't. Brilliant, you've got both options there. Moving down to the bottom section, so we've got the battery. Now you probably noticed when I power up the unit, there is actually an LED on the side which tells you the battery power. So currently you can see it's set to 1 bar, so this is literally out of the box, so it does need a full charge. A full charge from completely flat, roughly about 3 or so hours to completely charge. Obviously, if you have got the 2 battery version, if you put this into the cradle to charge, it's going to primarily charge the main battery in the actual vacuum itself. Once that is up to 100%, it will then automatically switch over and then start charging the additional battery, which is in the top section of the charger. So that in itself is a really, it's an obvious thing, but it's a very clever thing. If you put your vacuum in, you don't want it to charge the battery on the top because obviously you want to use the vacuum. So you can swap the batteries around, but essentially it will charge the main battery first before it starts trying to charge the other one. So yeah, really good idea. So to start taking it apart, there is a little lever there. So you just push that down and then you can remove this whole canister. So if you want to clean the whole canister, you can do, and that gives you access to other features on the device. So you have got a regular open, so you press that and it opens up, and that flap actually comes back really far. So if you're planning to just empty it into a dustbin or some other receptacle, really nice and easy to get to. And if there's any kind of debris which gets stuck in there, which they do from time to time, they all do, there's not a great deal you can do about it. All of it's nice and easy to access, and of course you've got the brush as well, so should you need to, you can just get the brush in there and clean out any additional debris. If that doesn't do the trick, you can actually remove this section, so just untwist and you can pull the whole unit out. So then you've got complete and full access to the interior to grab anything which might be in the way. So yeah, really, really good, really nice design. Everything clips together as it should do, very nice, very secure. This is the section which is your filter, so you can pull your filter out. Again, this can be cleaned with the filter cleaner. Swap those out across the two. You can wash them as well, so if they get a little bit too dirty, you can give them a wash. Just make sure if you do wash them, you leave them to dry naturally by sunlight. Don't put them over a radiator or anything, that's not a great idea. So yeah, just give them a wash, give them a squeeze under the tap. Again, very similar to things like your Dysons, etc. They all work in a very similar way. But yeah, really cool. This itself can be washed. So this is all plastic and metal, so again, if this gets a little bit grubby, stained or whatever from anything you're vacuuming, then you can just stick that in the sink, give it a wash over with some mild detergent, be absolutely fine. Again, obviously make sure it dries completely before you put it back in. So looking a bit further up, we've got this section here, which is our iLoop sensor, which you can see it's got the section on there. So it basically works as the air is coming in through there, it registers how dirty the air is, how many sort of particles are actually in the air. Obviously, if the air is pretty much clean, it will stay on a low RPM, low noise, etc. If it gets particularly dirty, so if you're doing kind of brick dust, if you've been drilling holes in walls, that kind of stuff, then clearly it's going to ramp up. Really good part about this, which you don't often get, is the fact that because it is auto-sensing, you don't have those issues like you do with some Dyson vacuums, especially I think it's the V11, where it's kind of automatic mode, more depends on what you're traveling on. So if you're on carpet, it will ramp up, but it doesn't take into context how much dirt is actually coming up through the nozzle. So you could be on carpet, which is actually pretty clean anyway, you just give it a light clean, but it'll go crazy on the Dysons and ramp right up and take your battery down quicker. Whereas this will analyse what is coming through and adjust it accordingly. So whether it's on hard floor, whether it's on laminates, whether it's on tile, stone, even on carpets, even those longer pile carpets, it will adjust it automatically and intelligently to fit the dirt rather than the actual substance or surface that you're trying to vacuum, which yeah, again, it's a really, really cool idea. Looking at the actual unit itself, the main unit, so there is a hook on the front, which is what hooks onto this section. There is an indentation, which is just in there, so that hooks in really nicely. Again, one of my issues with the, I think it's the V6 Dyson, you took the canister off and then you spent ages trying to get it all lined up and to snap it all back together. It just didn't feel like it wanted to go back together. Whereas this actually just feels like it's very safe, very secure. Everything just works as it is. And they've even designed things like the battery's got a slight indent in it so the actual flap can move back further, so there's nothing actually in the way of the debris coming out. Which again, there's little things like that which you probably don't notice initially until you use it, and then you get frustrated with other devices. And it seems they've thought with a lot of this stuff and actually implemented it in one handy device. Now the only thing I would say is it's a little bit heavier. I'll put the exact weights actually on the screen now. This unit itself, if I compare this with the V7 Animal, just the actual unit itself with no attachments, this does feel heavier. And I think a lot of that is down to the actual battery unit. The battery unit is actually quite heavy, and taking that off there, it does feel considerably lighter. But obviously the benefits you've got, easy removable battery. That is something which a lot of Dysons don't do. So again, with a Dyson, you're stuck. One battery. You can technically, with some of them, you can take a screw out and remove them and replace the batteries, but it's not as if it's kind of designed to be done like that. It's really kind of, once the battery is depleted or no longer working, then that's kind of it. At least with these modular batteries with the actual sensors on the side, so you can see how much charge is in there, which gives you a really good idea of how much charge you've got. Which again, some of the Dysons, you've got no idea, so you can pick it up off the charger, press the button, and before you know it, it's flat completely. Whereas at least with this, you've got a visual representation of how long you've got left. Absolutely brilliant. And of course, if you use the app as well, the Tineco companion app actually goes down and gives you even more granular information about power, your suction, all those kinds of things. So yeah, it's very, very clever. We did talk briefly about the actual display on the top. So if I actually pull the trigger now, you'll see this light up. And you'll notice there that the actual RPM or the suction power changed automatically. It wasn't me doing it, I'm literally just, this switch isn't a analog switch, it's a digital switch, it's either on or off. So it does it all automatically, so you press the button, it knows there's nothing in there dirt-wise, there's no resistance, so it just ramps down to around about 15 watts of power at its lowest usage. Although obviously if there's anything blocking it or doing anything, then it can ramp right up to that 130 watts, which is yeah, pretty powerful. So again, all the attachments go on very easily, and I guess that's probably not the best way to vacuum a desk, but you get the general idea. So a really nice little modular system, again very handy if you've got this near where your computer desk is and you've got a lot of Cheeto dust on your keyboard and you want to get it off, then this is going to be great. Of course you can use the attachments there however you want to. But yeah, I'm sold. Sign me up, I'll buy one. Oh no, I've already got one. So the next thing to do is we'll get this all wall mounted. I'm going to give the battery a really good charge, and then we'll go through and do some tests on various different types of flooring. Also we'll do some other kind of practical tests. We'll put some dust down, sugar, all those kinds of things, and see how it copes. So we'll be back after that. Okay, so here we are with the Tineco. This is the Pure One S11, as you've already seen from the unboxing. So I just wanted to give you a quick overview. Sorry about the echo, etc. This is just raw footage, so we're just going to go for it. So this is with the vacuum, with the stick attachment and the powered head on it. It's going to show you how well it works on different surfaces. So in this room, we've got this really, as you can see, it's got a thick, shaggy rug, which normally poses problems to most devices, to be completely honest with you. Certainly some of the earlier Dysons we've used, they just get jammed up on this. It was no use whatsoever. Also, some of the other vacuums would get stuck kind of underneath furniture and that sort of thing. And obviously things like your robot vacs, they have trouble in here as well because of all the different surfaces. So this is one of those rooms that you have to do manually. So let's fire this up and see how it goes. Now we're currently on like 42% battery, as we can tell from the app. So yeah, let's just get into it. So as you can see there, actually going underneath the sofa there, very, very easy it goes under and gets actually quite a decent depth underneath there for cleaning purposes. And because of the edge bar there, it gets really nice and close up to all the edges, etc. So this is going to be the real test. How well does it do on this rug? there we go, no problems at all. Didn't get stuck, didn't get jammed, and actually underneath here, where normally you'd have tons and tons of hair, there is a little bit stuck on there. So that is one of those things, unfortunately, with most kind of roller type devices you are going to suffer with. But yeah, it's done a good job, didn't jam up once, and appears to have picked up quite a bit of debris as well, which we can see there in the tank. So yeah, pretty decent. Overall, very impressed with the versatility on different surfaces, and we didn't have to change over the head or anything like that to actually get into some of the other surfaces. So yeah, works really well. So let's get back into the other room. So there you go, it's performed actually particularly well on the shaggy pile carpet, which I'm actually very impressed with. As I said in the video, most of the other vacuums we've ever used always get caught out by that shaggy pile. Now I think it's because the motor head on that particular vacuum, the bristles actually are very soft, so it doesn't really dig right in, so it just gently cleans, but also doesn't get caught up as well. You'll also see I have actually cleaned our bed. So I took it upstairs in the bedroom and actually cleaned the top of the quilt. Now often we find doing quilts, it gets sucked up and again it traps the rollers, that kind of thing. But actually done a really good job of cleaning up the bed, so hopefully you've seen that as well from some of the footage we've shot. We've done other things as well, obviously we've done things like the stairs, and we've also done various bits. You can see the lights work really, really well on the front, so that is absolutely awesome. But when it's all said and done, is it any good, and would I recommend it? Well, actually, yes, I would, and there's a lot of reasons behind that, some of which is the app, which we'll take a look at now. I've got it on my phone running, so I'll go into the Tineco Life app. And as you can see, I've got both my devices currently installed in the app, so I've got my S11 and also the S3, so those two in this combination, fantastic for cleaning purposes. So if we go and take a look at the S11, so as it goes in, it connects over the Wi-Fi, talks to the Tineco server, etc., and gives you information. So currently it tells you what my charging time remaining is on the battery. So currently we've got 127 minutes left of charge time. Normally a full charge from completely flat to completely full is somewhere in the region of about 3.5 hours or so. So yeah, it's doing well. It tells us we've got 39% of battery left, so certainly enough to do some quick tasks. Probably not enough to do the whole house. I did do pretty much the whole house entirely, and we've done some cutaways, some extra footage, and then also we did the little bit in the front room there where we did the rug, which is actually quite a deep pile, which puts a little bit more strain on the whole system. So it's actually lasted really well. Battery life is excellent. Again, if you want to, you can reach out to Tineco and get an additional battery. Now that's one thing we should highlight actually. In the video to begin with, I did say that it comes with 2 batteries. That was a falsification. It only comes with 1. There is an optional battery which you can purchase separately. Now, I did actually question this. I went over to the Tineco website to actually see what their customer service was actually like. So I reached out to them on a Saturday night, asking the question, does it come with 2 batteries, or can I get a separate battery? Is it easy to do? And they replied within 24 hours, which was absolutely brilliant. Didn't expect that at all. So we had a reply on the Sunday saying, yeah, no problem, here's all the links, etc., etc. Give me all the information I needed. So thumbs up to Tineco for that. Excellent customer service at the moment, it seems. So yeah, keep that up, definitely. So anyway, going back to the app, so we've got our cleaning status, so you can go in and see the cleaning performance. So that is more when it's actually running live. That basically gives you a representation of what you see actually on the LED display on the vacuum. Again, you've got your power status, the pre-filter, so it tells you how much life is in the pre-filter. So currently we've used it for about 52 minutes, which has taken it down to 98.2%. So it doesn't quite need cleaning for a long time. So yeah, I would say probably that's going to need cleaning maybe once a month at best. So yeah, that's all really good. And the dustbin, when the dustbin needs emptying, it will actually kind of tell you, and you can reset the dustbin counter, so it gives you a rough idea. You'll see from some of the footage I've also got, I actually did go way past what the recommendation is, the maximum line actually on the dustbin itself. Really went to town, left the house basically a mess for a few days. Cat hairs, all that stuff. The cats are molting like crazy because it's summertime here, and we've got 3 relatively long-haired cats, so cat fur everywhere. So I went and did a quick flip round all the stairs, etc., as you've probably seen from the B-roll. Filled that bin right up. And it was excellent because popped open the flap, as you can see from the video you've probably seen already, or maybe it's about to appear, and basically nothing came out because it was wedged right in there. So that is something to take into consideration. If you don't like getting your hands a bit mucky every now and then obviously do empty it a little bit quicker and it will fall out easier. But even if it does get stuffed right up, it's pretty easy to get access to. Just lever some of the dust off and if it's stuck around that top section, as you can probably see from the video, all you need to do is to grab that blue center section, give it a twist about 90 degrees, pull the whole thing off, and then you can pull all the debris off there, clean it up nice and easily. And as you can see, it did pick up a tremendous amount of dirt and debris. So again, thumbs up to Tineco. It does seem to keep on picking up dust and dirt. Even in an area which you think is clean, the more you go over it, the more you'll pick up. So there isn't like a finite limit of how much dust it'll pick up. It just keeps on going, keeps on going, keeps on going. And yeah, you can just keep on going over areas indefinitely and still pick up more and more dust. It really does get really deep into those fabrics and pick up all those edges, all the little bits around the edges. Like when you're in your kitchen, you've got little bits of rice maybe, or flour or whatever, and it gets in around the kitchen edges. This actually picks up really well. Considering the brush bar isn't particularly wide, because of the amount of suction and the way it's designed, it just really does kind of pull in those little bits from around the edges, which is absolutely brilliant. So that's what we're going to take a look at next. We're going to do some very quick tests. I've got the unit, like I said, on charging, as you can see from the app. So we're going to try it with a few things. So we've got some sugar strands, we've got some ground black pepper, which is extremely fine, and also we've got something a little bit more rocky. We've got some Himalayan salt. So we're going to do a practical test actually on the desk here and just see how well it does. I know how well it does. It does really well throughout the house and throughout the kitchen, all the various types of flooring. But I know what it's like. Most of you watch these vacuum reviews, you want to see how it does on these kind of things in a kind of synthetic test. So anyway, let's give it a go. So first of all, we're going to try the Himalayan salt. As you can see, it's very crudely set out on the desk here. Headphone users, I am about to start up a vacuum, so do beware. But it's actually pretty quiet, so let's give it a go. So as you can probably see, because the lip on the front is quite low down to give you that increased suction, some of the larger things, so maybe if you've got, I don't know, pebbles from Pebble Dash from your house, very small stones, etc. These are the things which you may struggle a little bit with and might have to kind of go over, or even just lift the head up slightly so you can get them. So let's finish this bit off. There we go, we're done. And as you can see, they're in the tray there. So this is one of the things which is a little bit of a downside of this particular unit, because of, again, that lip on the front is extremely flat to the floor. So that gives it great suction for smaller things, but certainly larger objects, you may find yourself going over a few more times. Now obviously, it's not very often that you're going to throw Himalayan salt around on your floors. And again, if that was on a carpeted surface, it would be better because it would kind of compress into the carpet a little bit. So on a hard surface, that is actually probably one of the most difficult things we can do. So now let's move on to the sugar strands. So now we've got our sugar strands, which again is probably quite difficult for you to actually physically see, but yeah, trust me, they're there. And there we go, so there's that done. Again, sugar strands on this kind of surface, like most things, are going to be a little bit on the tricky side, but it has got them all. You might have to go over once or twice. Also, one thing to bear in mind is actually this front section here. If this gets dirty, where I've actually been putting it through some hell, so if this gets dirty or a bit sticky, you will find some smaller things, especially anything which also is quite sticky, may actually get stuck on that front section. So again, because this lip is so low down to the ground and essentially is designed for going on kind of like harder surfaces or firm carpet, so that is going to be a consideration. It's very odd that in these synthetic tests we're doing right now, it actually seems to be performing a lot worse than it actually does in real life, which is kind of strange, which actually makes me kind of want to rethink all of the reviews I've seen of other vacuums on these kind of synthetic tests. So real world use, pretty much flawless, but in these particular tests, not doing quite so well. So anyway, let's move on to the last one, which is the black pepper. So you can probably see that pretty easily now. We've got a ton of black pepper, so let's give that a go and actually make sure there's nothing on the bottom here. No, we're all good. So let's get into it. Absolutely perfect. Now this is one of those real tests which makes a lot of difference. Now some vacuums you'd do that with the black pepper and you'd wipe over underneath and you'd find there would be traces, and on this there is nothing at all. So there's really fine particles, the ones which give you kind of allergens and can be irritants for your eyes, your nose, especially kind of pollen, that kind of thing, which gets stuck into the fabrics or onto the floor. These are the things that you really do want to pick up. The larger bits, yeah, okay, it's not the end of the world. But those really fine particles, they can be really annoying, and obviously they build up over time. So this is great. It's picked up all of the black pepper very easily, which is absolutely awesome. So very impressed with that. So there you go. There are the synthetic tests out of the way. They are synthetic tests. My experience using it on the floors has been very good. Not being able to pick up Himalayan salt on a hard surface probably isn't what everyone would be trying to do. Normally, I guess if you're at home, if you've got some sort of laminate flooring or some sort of stone flooring, there's going to be those little gaps in between. So as the head, because it's so low, as it goes across those gaps, that's going to be when you're going to pick up most of your debris. And certainly in our kitchen where we've got some B-roll, you can see that is the exact scenario. So we've got those kind of flagstone tiles, there is grout around them, so as it moves it kind of pulls the dirt along, and as soon as it gets to a lower part it sucks it all in. So for me, I think this is brilliant. It certainly is a lot better than my previous model Dyson, which was the V7 Animal, and I thought that was actually really good. This is got better runtime, it's got better suction, many more accessories actually on the stand itself, so it comes with all those accessories. You've got obviously the motorised head, you've got the mini motorised head for the stairs and carpets, you've got the crevice tool, you've got the kind of soft tool with the little brushes on the end, and of course obviously you've got the filter cleaner as well. It's just a really nice package. Now at the moment in the UK, if you go onto Amazon and places like that, you'll be looking somewhere in the region of around about £250 for this entire set, which actually I think is particularly good value for money. I can vaguely remember going to Currys in the UK and picking up my Dyson V7 Animal, and I'm sure I paid around about £350 for it. So in terms of comparisons, V7, V8, very similar beasts, but I think this does it in a much nicer way. It is, I would say, slightly heavier. It is a more heavyweight construction, and certainly that oval down tube, when you're using it in stick vacuum mode, is a lot bigger and a lot stronger. So it does give you that feeling of confidence. So when you're using it, you can be a little bit more rough with it and kind of jam it into the furniture if you want to. Obviously, Tineco would probably recommend that I didn't say that, but you can do. That is what this is all about. It's a pretty much, it looks like it isn't. It looks like it's a very delicate kind of ornate device with all this crystal look going on, but actually it is pretty much a workhorse vacuum. So anyway, that's going to wrap this one up. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments section below. We will try and put some affiliated links in the video description and also some links to Tineco themselves, and we'll try and work out where is the best bargain to pick this up. There's obviously discounts from various sites, so we'll reach out to Tineco as well and see if they can actually provide us with some discounts specifically for you guys that watch the channel. So that's going to wrap it up. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.